Hello, and welcome to another episode of Reviews in a Rabbit Onesie, the show in which I, Dan Leith, sorry about that, review things in a rabbit onesie. It takes two, baby, it takes two, baby, just me and me. What? Well, there's a bit of head fuckery this week, as the two movies that we put head to head are both about the strange things that happens when a comet passes overhead, and also contain glow sticks. It's Comets and Glowsticks. Which brings us to movie number 1, 2013's Coherence. Now, this movie is a very low-budget feature, directed by James Ward Burkett, and when I say low-budget, it looks very ugly and very cheap. I mean, I was tempted to turn it off because it looked like it was shot on a mobile phone, but thankfully, I didn't. I mean, it's produced by a company called Ugly Duckling, which is apt, because if you stay with it, this movie becomes a swan. The plot itself is about a bunch of yuppie, well-to-do friends who are having a dinner party.
Come on now, enjoy me. We're going to talk about some deity stuff.
On the same night that a comet is supposed to be passing overhead.
Comet.
Now, I'm actually going to try to not tell you too much about this film at all.
I'm living in the moment.
Because the best way to experience it is going in cold. The dinner party begins, the guests all sit down to dinner. There are some foreboding tales about what has happened previously in history, any time a comet has passed so close to the Earth.
It was actually crazy because it affected the people.
Sets up the atmosphere nicely. And then the power is knocked out. They discover they have no phone signal. The only house that seems to have any power is one that's about 2 blocks away. It's fully illuminated in a sea of darkness. And then all sorts of weird shit starts to happen, and the dinner party is turned upside down. It's extremely eerie and suspenseful, and it's very intriguing. There's some scary heavy knocking on a door to nowhere.
I mean, I don't even like being over here.
They find a box
What's the box?
containing a ping pong paddle and pictures of all of the dinner guests with numbers written on the back of them.
Oh my God.
One of them decides to write a note to leave at the other house, only to find the duplicate version of that note stuck to their own door.
Just calm down.
The guests arm themselves with some handy glow sticks and go out exploring.
See that?
Oh my God.
And that's pretty much all of the plot I'm going to tell you.
Thanks for enjoying the show.
But I did do a bit of research on this movie and found out exactly how it was made and why that made it so effective.
I read something this morning.
So this movie was very low budget. I think it was about a budget of $50,000. And it was shot over 5 nights in a single location. And most of the dialogue was improvised.
Awesome.
Apparently the actors didn't even know what was going on. They had no idea what the plot was.
Everybody knew about this except me.
The girl, who I guess is the main protagonist, didn't even know she was the main protagonist. They had no idea where it was going. They weren't given any scripts. Instead, the actors would receive a small piece of paper with their goals on it that only they would see. So to give you an example of this, one of the actors playing Kevin was given a note saying, "You have to leave the house." Meanwhile, the actress playing the character of his girlfriend, M, was given a note saying that no one could leave the house.
I can't stand this. I'm going to go see what's
Not
going on.
without
I'm sorry,
the
but
rest
I'm
of
going.
us.
This was apparently to allow the events to unfold more naturally and create some genuine reactions from the actors, and I really think it does. It has a certain element of realism to it.
Let's give him a shovel. Give him a shovel.
It's like all the actors got together and did the ultimate murder mystery dinner party. Apparently another one of the actors thought it was supposed to be a comedy until the 3rd day of filming.
The yoga, the Spanish yoga, the spoga.
And also the ugly handheld style of the filming of the movie was because it was improvised. The cameramen had no idea where the actors were going to go around the room, so they had to be on point with handheld. Even though I didn't give a fuck about how it looked by the end of the film, my brain was working overtime, I was intrigued, it was exciting, it was suspenseful, it was very clever. I mean, I definitely had some questions by the end, but fuck it, I didn't really care. Because this ugly duckling turned into a swan. Another fun fact about this film, so Nicholas Brendan plays the character of Mike,
I act.
who used to be in a seminal teen sci-fi show in the 90s.
It was called Roswell.
But for those of you in the know, Nicholas Brendan was in a seminal teen horror/sci-fi 90s show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I laugh in the face of danger, then I hide until it goes away.
It's just all very clever, and I can't really talk about it that much without ruining things for you.
It just doesn't compute.
What did I learn from this movie? I learned that it's not a proper dinner party until someone offers you ketamine, wine, cheese, ketamine, I also learned that some people are extremely allergic to Schrodinger's cat. Anyway, that's Coherence, an intriguing low-budget masterpiece. 5 out of 5 glow sticks. Which brings us to movie number 2, 2013's Plus One, or Shadow Walkers. This movie has multiple titles and it was actually quite hard to find because of this. Anyway, this movie begins with a shot of some very sapphic looking flowers. I think they're establishing a theme here. And we watch as the character of David, a creepy possessive boyfriend type. He drives down to see his girlfriend Jill, who's doing some sort of fencing competition. He surprises her in a kind of off-putting, stalky sort of way.
Wish I could be there.
I know, me too.
Look over here.
And she waves at him with this really weird wave.
Hi.
Anyway, Jill is fencing some girl that looks exactly like her, and apparently everyone screams the same sort of scream when they're fencing. Jill loses the fencing match. David spots her in the corridor and decides he's going to give her a nice grope hello. Hello. Turns out it's not her, it's the other girl that she was fencing with that beat her that looks exactly like her. David apologizes, like, oh, I thought you were my girlfriend. And the girl's like, it's fine. And plants the lips on him, so they make out. Jill catches it. She's not happy.
You made me feel replaceable.
Fast forward to David talking to his friend Teddy.
Last summer was great. Yeah, it was.
Teddy's your standard geeky, horny boy character you'd find in any American teen sex comedy.
My carpet matches my drapes.
So David's venting to Teddy about how he needs to get Jill back. He's terrified that she's going to meet some older guy who knows how to eat pussy. That line's verbatim from the film. I did mention the theme, right? Anyway, apparently there's a massive house party happening. And on the same night, a comet crashes down near to the house. And shit ensues. Now, this is a very grandiose house party. The money they must have spent on fairy lights alone.
Holy.
Let alone the dancers and the DJ set. Let alone what they spent on glow sticks. It's fucking chaos. Anyway, apparently it's the party to be at because everybody is there. David, Jill, horny boy Teddy, 2 white trash drug dealer types, and that guy who's half shaved his head and likes to bark and scream randomly. So all of the teen cast have their own little plot lines. David's trying to win back Jill.
Let's try this again.
And stop the advances of this pussy-eating older guy that he keeps saying about the party. There's like a close-up of his mouth in slow motion eating party snacks. Hashtag theme. Horny boy Teddy has the opportunity to try and be with the hot girl of his dreams.
I kind of think that you're into me.
And Allison, who's the loner, intellectual, well-read type, is just trying to fit in. However, the comet has other ideas. It seems like the comet is causing a fracture in time. Party guests start appearing where they were 5 minutes ago in the past.
Wait.
So these doppelgangers in the past seem to be getting closer in time to the original characters in the present, if that makes sense. I've just realized these movies are way too high concept to try and explain.
We only get one chance and every second that passes is gone forever.
Okay, so just imagine what it would be like to bump into your past self at a house party.
All right. Here we go.
It'd be pretty disconcerting, particularly if you've just had some oddly aggressive sex with a naked woman who's just gone to take a shower and then suddenly she's there beside you again, looking for some more action. Frankly, my mouth would be too tired from all the fingers she was putting in there. Yeah, that's a weird sex scene.
I'm actually in complete control.
It's actually a really fascinating concept. So many great ideas and moments in it. I mean, the character of David, putting aside his or the director's or the writer's obsession with going down on women, is a very interesting character as the movie progresses. It turns out that the creepy possessive boyfriend vibes aren't just poor writing, but the beginning of sociopathic tendencies. Because while everyone else is freaking out about seeing their own doppelganger at a house party,
Oh my god.
David is using his cold and clinical mind to do everything he can to try and win back Jill.
Or we could change them.
It's actually really interesting stuff, but somewhat tonally off. It's a bit too party-loving and boob-filled, with a lot of the dialogue played for laughs.
Like a funny ha-ha or a funny strange.
But when you consider the rest of the film has such dark moments and high sci-fi concepts, it's just a bit of an odd mix. It's a film that makes you ask interesting questions to yourself.
Then what?
Would I like me if I met me? Or would I try to kill myself because, like with the Highlander, there can be only one?
There can be only one.
The character of Allison, who's the intellectual loner type in this film, has quite an interesting journey. She chooses the path of self-enlightenment, whereas with everyone else it all gets as brutal and as ugly as these house parties normally end up being. What did I learn from this movie? I learned that no party is complete without eating sushi off a nude person.
It's a body buffet. Help yourself.
You do birthdays?
But don't bite her because she might end up delivering naked fly kicks to some of the guests. I also learned that if you think you're going to prematurely ejaculate mid-coitus, then just imagine your doppelganger watching you from the corner of the room and put your palm in some broken glass. Anyway, that's Plus One, or Shadow Walkers. A very interesting and mostly enjoyable watch, but with tonal inconsistencies that won't sit well with some. 3 out of 5 glow sticks. Thank you for watching Reviews in a Rabbit Onesie. I've been Dan Leith. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, share, subscribe. And if you want me to review anything else, then please leave a comment underneath. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay sane. And I think if I did meet myself, we'd probably get on. It certainly wouldn't kill me. I mean, I think the worst thing I'd do would be play a practical joke, like come around banging the windows while I'm trying to film myself.
Finn.